Yeah, no, I'm using the battery. Well, I talked to the president. He's going to have a look, but I haven't told him. I've got.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
I would have just more actually. I would have discounted yourself. I'm joking.
Yeah.
You'll see it, mate.
Yeah, that's it. Hold on, yeah, that's the power bank I've got. No, yeah, there we go.
I don't care about anything else other than 50
Yeah, from the power
straight up.
I had it before, but it just... I think it's on down. Yeah, okay. I'll go look from. Yeah, just. Cool, thank you. Yeah.
What about up the back?
that.
Yeah, I need those. I need two signals.
Hello, hello, coming. Hello, hello, how are you? Very good, blah, 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 blah. What's that?
I can hear you too.
Right. Yeah,
I don't have the headphones. I don't have those headphones if you have a mixer.
oh, right. Yeah, because I can't hear anything.
Because of all the cables and stuff.
We're probably all right on the edge there. Yeah, so I won't be able to hear it in the cans. So I won't be able to hear it in here. But because of that, that might be.
You can't hear. Yeah, no, this is.
So I
Going
do.
downstream from you guys.
Yeah, so I do need like a mixer or something. But I'm still coming through all right. You tell me when.
You want me to start?
James Langoya. Langoya.
When they come out. After more than a decade in the wilderness, the prodigal sons have returned. Pascoe Vale are again based in Pascoe Vale with their first game here at Hoscombe Reserve since 2014. In the intervening years, they played their home games at CBS Smith Reserve in Fawkner, so it's appropriate then that they face one of their old tenants there at their temporary home, their old rivals Brunswick Juventus. This is a Merribeck derby on a Friday night on YouTube, and I'm Cade Lucas and I'll be bringing it to you. Hope you can stay with us over the next 90 minutes or so for this historic day here in Inner North football as two old rivals and neighbours resume hostilities in round 2 of the VPL2 season. And both teams will be looking to make a good start to the season into a great one. Both got wins last weekend. Brunswick Juventus knocked off Nunawading City 2-1, whilst Pascoe Vale defeated Springvale White Eagles 1-0. And they both sit 4th and 5th on the table respectively. So plenty more than just local bragging rights up for grabs here this evening. James Langoya is the referee and he's presiding over the coin toss. Oscar Yildiz, a local dignitary, is doing proceedings out there too. Looks as though Pascoe Vale have won the toss and will go towards the club room's end in this first half. Cool and overcast here in Pascoe Vale this evening as the crowd files in here in the new grandstand at Hoscombe Reserve in which we're standing. Excellent crowd in front of the club rooms at the northern end as well. So all is in readiness for the start of round 2 of the VPL season. 2 games going on tonight. Werribee City hosting Springvale White Eagles as well. But it's here at Hoscombe Reserve that we focus our attention. Pascoe Vale, the home team, in their white with navy shorts. And Brunswick Juventus in a rather fetching away strip. You wouldn't know they're called the Zebras judging by that. Sort of a blue check design with white shorts. So the home side will go towards the right of your screen in this first half. Brunswick Juventus, the visitors, will go towards the left. And we're underway. Hoscombe Reserve hosting top-level Victorian football for the first time in a long time. And crashing in there with an early challenge was Lacente from Pascoe Vale. He was full-blooded into that challenge and he's evolved here again. Here in midfield is Atkins for the Rams. Back now towards Cool. He goes all the way back to Wiseman. Wiseman was man of the match in his debut for the club last week against Springvale White Eagles. Not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. Obviously a good thing that he was man of the match. I mean, he made some important saves and they did win, but you wouldn't want your goalkeeper to be man of the match too often. Probably doesn't say too much good about your side. Too early in the season, though, to read that much into it. Juventus with the ball, deep in defence here, but they've turned it over up high. Barrafrosh has got it for the Rams, and he wins a free kick. Just outside goal-scoring territory, but in an inviting spot for a cross. It's going to be Hatzigeorgiou, the vice-captain, to take it. Barely 90 seconds in. This would really get the returning Pascoe Vale faithful up and about if they could score here. Plenty milling around in the edge of the penalty area. Reece Murfitt bouncing on the balls of his feet in the Brunswick Juventus goal. It's a good delivery. And it comes back to Bosdagan, who put the laces through it and put it onto the roof. And the crowd urged him on, the former Hume City midfielder. Bounced invitingly for him, but it was always going over the top. And eventually one of the security men retrieves a ball. Probably haven't had to do that in these parts for a long time, so maybe they haven't got a system in place to find the balls when they go over the fence. But we are back in action. Here's Lacente. Melbourne City and Bentley Green's left back. Winning it here, though, is Lovic. Luka Lovic. Loses a challenge in midfield. Now Barrafrosh goes down, does a couple of commando rolls, doesn't convince the referee, though. And the ball out of play on the outer side, and there's a Brunswick Juventus player down, and the red mist has descended out there. I didn't catch what the incident was, but it looks pretty serious because the Juventus player is prostrate on the ground and has not moved. James Langoya, the referee, is already having a very busy night. 3 minutes in here. It's Lachlan Smith, the Brunswick Juventus player, who was down, but thankfully for him and for the visitors, he's up and he looks okay. And it looks as though everyone's calmed down, which is good to see. It is a free kick for the visitors, though, after all of that. Take it right on the halfway line. But before we can get back underway, James Langoya reaches for his pocket and a yellow card each. So Jamie Gazelle, former Altona City player, goes in the book for Juventus, and his fellow number 2, Benjamin Levitikos, in the book for the Rams. So reasonably action-packed first 4.5 minutes here at Hoscombe Reserve. Just sat down on a Friday night, had your dinner, tuned in. Hope you can stay with us. If the first few minutes are anything to go by, you're going to be in for a treat. Finally, we're back underway. Gazelle, straight to Levitikos. The two men who went in the book. Ball ricochets now towards Campbell. Headed away by Cool in the heart of the Rams' defence. And another rugged challenge. Player goes down. It's Bozdogan who's lost it. He's picked himself back up though, and the ball is in the hands of Wiseman in his own penalty area for Pascoe Vale. Rolls it along the floor to Cool, another ex-Hume City player. Here's Lacente. Just miscued his challenge there. He got put off by the oncoming Kakidis, Christopher Kakidis, who now takes the throw right in front of us here on the school side at Hoscombe Reserve. Here's Kakidis again. And then the skipper, Samoy, put it high up in the air. Comes back to him, but the whistle is blown. Nicola Samioy. Apologies for that pronunciation, but we'll go with Samioy for the time being. He's had to drop back in defence here because it's a free kick for Pascoe Vale. It's Lewis Cool, the player making his debut here. Actually said he was ex-Hume City, rather he's ex-Northcote City. And now down the flank, good movement here from Pascoe Vale, and they will get an early corner. It was Mustina Hadjic, the skipper, who got onto that long pass and forced a corner. So a second set piece here for the Rams. You can see the corner flag fluttering. The breeze is coming across Hoscombe Reserve. And that could be a factor here as Giorgio takes the corner from the far side. Just crossed 7 minutes. He drifts it in and it goes all the way to the line. Murphy got his hands on it. And it's out for another corner from the opposite side. Not very convincing defending there from the visitors. And it's Mustina Hadjic who'll test them with a corner from the near side. And he floats it in. Strong header by the Juventus defence. It's back to Mustina Hadjic. He'll go for goal this time. And he forces a good save out of Murphy, who tipped it over the top. And the faithful here at Hoscombe Reserve, Oudenard, as that one very nearly went in for the first goal since 2014 at this venue. Would have been a damn good one as well. As it was an excellent save by Reef Murphy. And it's now a hat-trick of corners for the Rams, who are turning the screw here early doors. That's a Giorgio again to the back post. Cool is there. That was always floating over the top. He couldn't get up over the top of that ball, Lewis Cool. And finally a bit of breathing space for Brunswick Juventus, who would have been expecting to be put under pressure here early on. The Rams at home, and at home in a literal sense for the first time in a very long time, so they're always going to be really up for this. It's not a great clearance by Murphy, who could be right back onto the cosh here, and it comes towards Mamaglia. Defence gets back in time to deny Mamaglia, who scored last week on debut. Atkins wins it back in midfield, then tumbles down, and it's a free kick for the Rams. And this could be some more disciplinary action from James Langoy, who's been very busy here in this opening 10 minutes. It's Matthew Kundal who's getting a talking to. And Brunswick have more set-piece defending to do, because it's going to be a free kick pretty much directly in front. Mustana Hadjic and Bozdogan standing over it. Looks like it'll be Mustana Hadjic, and he puts the laces through it. It ricochets into the air and into the net. 10 years in the making, 10 years in the waiting. Pascoe Vale have scored at Hoscombe Reserve, and they've taken the lead in the Merrybeck Derby. It was not a goal that's going to feature in too many highlight reels, but they won't care about that. They have the lead, and it was Tom Barafrosh, after Muzdana Hadjic's free kick ricocheted up into the air, and Barafrosh attacked it. Looks like he might have collected one of his teammates in his effort to get to the ball and score the goal. So Pascoe Vale have taken the lead, and their striker, their new striker, Dragos Mamaglia, has come off a bit worse the wear, but most Rams fans would take that at the moment, because they lead by a goal to nil after 11 minutes. Tom Barafrosh putting the Rams in front. And Mamaglia's back up and moving for a bit of treatment from the physio. In fact, he's going off Mamaglia for a bit more work on the sideline. So Pascoe Vale will be down to 10 momentarily as Brunswick Juventus kick off and try and regroup. They thought they'd be under pressure here early on. They are right. Not only under pressure, but they're down on the scoreboard now. Here's Campbell. Up the outer side and out of play. A few people standing on the bank on the outer side. Most people, though, milling around on this side in front of the, or under the canopy here in the small grandstand, and then in front of the club rooms. Lots of people pressed up against the fence there as Simioi puts that straight up and down the chimney, trying to clear. Couldn't quite do so. Now Takagi gets there to help him on, and Takagi again, Rin Takagi, the Japanese defender. He's put this straight out of play in front of, just in between both benches. Takagi. Ball into the box for the first time really for Juventus. Can they hit back quickly here? And now a flying shot! And that was not far away. It was Kundal who tried to curl that one in from well outside the area. And there wasn't much James Wiseman could have done about that. He was grasping at thin air. Luckily, though, Kundal's shot was just over the bar. And it's a shot across the bows for Pascoe Vale. They've been calling the shots here since the opening whistle, but Kundal's effort just gives them We'll give them a bit of pause for thought as they play out from the back. Cool. Strong header in defence there by Campbell. In midfield, it's Buzdigan now for the Rams. Out wide to his partner in crime in Mustina Hadjic. They're on the move here. That's a great ball in, but Murfitt saw it early enough. Cladding gold tonight, Reef Murfitt. Coming over from Green Gully. A lot of new faces in both teams so far this season. Claims of a handball there against Kakidis. Nothing doing, says the referee. And here's Mamaglia, who's come up the field to get involved. Finds Hatzigeorgio to the goal scorer, Barafrosh. And now in some space there is Atkins. Nice movement this from the home side. Lucente sends it across, nobody home. Lovic. End-to-end stuff here. Brunswick trying to work it up the pitch, but they've given it away. It's Bozdigan again to Mustina Hadjic. They've really making some inroads down that side, and that should have been 2-0. Dear, oh dear, Mamaglia's missed a sitter. Again, wonderful build-up play down the left-hand side. Buzdigan and Mustina Hadjic getting involved. The skipper sent it a great ball, and Mamaglia couldn't believe his luck as it came all the way back to him, and then he could only hit the side netting with the keeper out of action. Will that be a miss that the Rams live to rue? Long ball down the channel. Barafrosh chasing after this. He's got Campbell right with him, shoulder to shoulder. Barafrosh went to ground and then got back into his feet like a cat. Couldn't keep the ball in, however. Thrown right into the mixer for Pascoe Vale. Lovic will clear though for Brunswick Juventus, who'll look to go on the break. Comes out to the near side. Gilboy, another one of their new signings. Up the left-hand side, now into midfield. Trying to pick out a teammate, but a timely intervention there for the Rams, and they win it back. Lovic in midfield though. The Irish-Serbian. Signed from Wexford. Nice build up here by Juventus. Ball chipped over the top. Wiseman comes off his line and he brings down a Juventus player. And James Langoy has pointed at the spot, I fancy. It's a penalty. One of the rare times so far that Brunswick Juventus have got into their own penalty area. And Wiseman just came out a bit too early. And he collected Lachlan Smith, who will now stand up and take the penalty and try and level the scores. It's Smith against Wiseman. And it's 1-1. Emphatic penalty by Lachlan Smith, who won the penalty and then put it away with aplomb. And we are back on level terms here at Hoscombe Reserve. 18 minutes in, it is Pascoe Vale 1, Brunswick Juventus 1. Wiseman guessed right, but was hit with too much power and precision by Smith. Both teams scoring inside the first 20 minutes. Be set for a bit of a goal fest here this evening. And that gilt-edged chance that Mamuglia missed moments earlier, that comes into even harsher view now for Pascoe Vale. But they have been able to fashion out plenty of chances in these opening exchanges, and they'll fancy themselves to do so again as a long ball goes into the box. Now Cool goes down. And they've got another corner here, Pascoe Vale, looking to hit back quickly. This will be their fourth corner by my counting. They've had a couple of free kicks too. Juventus have not had any set pieces of note, apart from, of course, the penalty. Hatzigiorgio. It's right into the mixer. It's almost in the net. It is. And what do you know? It's Barafrosh again. Almost a carbon copy of the goal he scored about 10 minutes ago. And Brunswick Juventus' lead lasted a matter of seconds. Tom Barafrosh at the double, heading in from point-blank range again after another cross from Hatzigiorgio. And it's Pascoe Vale 2, Brunswick Juventus 1, 20 and a half gone. That'll be a frustrating one for Juventus, who had just gotten themselves back on equal footing and now find themselves behind again. A long way to go, though, in the way this is going. The scoreboard is likely to tick over a bit more. Not a great clearance there by Murphy. And they're on the front foot again here, the Rams. Vicente down the sideline. Ball doesn't reach him, though, as Mamuglia tried to hold it up, but he couldn't find his teammate riding shotgun. They do win another free kick, though, Pascoe Vale. And as we've seen, this is where they're dangerous. In fact, no, it's a throw. Atkins right in front of us. Tall, lanky midfielder. All the way back now to Wiseman. Bosdigan bounces that straight off the shins of Kundale. And out for a throw. Mr. Nahadzic to take it. Pascoe Vale skipper. A bit like the team, is a bit of a prodigal son, having played his junior football here and then went off to other pastures. More recently he was at Bentley Greens, but now back leading his boyhood club and doing so pretty well. Cool. Lacente. He's got Smith with him. And Lacente sends him down to the shops. And then a good ball into the area. And that's not far from a third. Murphy forced into a good save. It was deflected, I think, from Mamuglia, who got a stutter on his boot to it. Juventus not wasting any time. Long crossfield pass out towards Gilboy. Gilboy now running at the defence and running into a brick wall and losing the ball. And the Rams come away. Game really stretched now. Mamuglia. Mamuglia down the near side channel. He'll look for targets inboard. One of them is Atkins. He has Hatzigiorgio free. Atkins finds him. Oh, reverse pass. Mustana Hadjic takes it to the byline and wins another corner. They're going through the gears now, the home side. They want to put a bit of distance between them and Brunswick Juventus. And they've got another corner. As we've already seen, they are pretty dangerous from these situations. Tom Barafrosh, he'll be the man that Juventus will be marking closest. He's already got 2 goals. Could he get a first half hat-trick of goalmouth scrambles? In comes the cross. To the byline, Mamuglia, back to Hatzigiorgio. Another cross in. Takaji got it away. Smith is there. And now they clear their lines, and now they might be out. It's Takaji to Gilboy. They're scrambling here, the Rams, as Gilboy puts the foot down into the area. The new signing, the Englishman. And he just loses a handle at the crucial moment, and Mamaglia back in defence wins it for the Rams. This is a frantic game here. Hope you're enjoying it on YouTube. Cade Lucas with you at Hoscombe Reserve. Pascoe Vale Rams back at home for the first time in a decade, and boy, they're treating their fans to quite the show here. 3 goals inside the first 25 minutes. It'll be a brave man to bet against that scoreline holding as Juventus come forward here now. It's Smith. Smith lays it across. The Rams back in numbers. Kakidis is here though. They reload. Back in defence there is Dib, and it's deflected out of play by Bosdagan. And Brunswick Juventus have a throw. Just on the edge of the final third here for the visitors. Comes back to Smith, goal scorer for Juventus. Now to Takaji, the defender. He's not defending here, he's deep in attack. Back to Kakidis, to the back post. And a flying shot by Gilboy on the volley. He hit that pretty sweetly, but just couldn't get the radar quite on. Lewis Gilboy, Englishman, he's joined from Prescott Cables. Very interesting sounding club. Don't ask me where in England it is, presumably Prescott, wherever that is. Not sure what Cables refers to. He's now very much at Brunswick Juventus. And tonight he's at Hoscombe Reserve, which has proven to be pretty hostile territory for he and his teammates so far. Murfitt. Campbell. Campbell again. Back to Reef Murfitt. He's probably had more work to do than he would have wanted to this point in the game. Lost it in midfield here. Takaji won it and then lost it as soon as he did. And now it's Lucente coming away. He's been busy down this flank. Lucente inboard to Mamaglia. Lucente just had to backtrack a bit to reach that ball. He'll take it to the byline and it's out. Simioi doing the defending there, the skipper. And it's another corner. They are racking them up at the moment. The Rams, they're certainly winning the territory battle as well as the overall battle. They lead by 2 goals to 1. They've tripled their goal tally for the season in less than half an hour. They only scored the single goal last week to defeat Springvale White Eagles. Got 2 in the first half an hour. Could they get another one here? Cross comes in to the back post. Cool. He's done that a couple of times now. Lewis Cool won the header, but quite been able to get over the top of the ball, directed into the net. There's Gilboy on the move, and he rides the challenge. He's stripped of the ball though by Mustana Hadjic, who got back with pace. And they make something happen here, Juventus. Lovic. It's a sloppy pass. And Magmalia is dropping deep onto Atkins with those long legs galloping through midfield. Sends a long ball down the channel to the goal scorer, Barafrosh. On the edge of the area, a bit of fancy footwork. That's a Giorgio. And backtrack further to the Rams as the light blue shirts of Juventus get back in numbers. It's a Giorgio, just won it off Lovic and now fires a goal. He was always bumbling wide of the post. He didn't really collect it well enough, Patsa Giorgio there. Murphy didn't really have the need to make a save. Not a great clearance. There'll be a throw just forward of halfway here for the Rams as we approach half an hour. And an action-packed 30 minutes it's been. What could we see in the next 15 minutes before half-time? Here's Cool, who's got a bit of room and backtracks, goes to Dib, former St Albans Dynamo defender. As Mustard Hajic goes down there, trying to head the ball. I think it was Gazelle who collected him inadvertently, and Mustard Hajic is just a bit sore. He's down on his haunches, the skipper. Yeah, it looks like he might need some treatment. Shane Rexepi, the Pascoe Vale coach, having a chat to James Langoy about that incident. Shane Rexepi now on the touchline. He was playing not very long ago. I think the season before last he was still playing for Hume City in the MPL. No doubt why there's a few ex-Hume City players in this Pascoe Vale team, most notably Umut Buzdagan in midfield. His opposing number, Michael Calandrella, has some connections to Pascoe Vale too. He'll know this venue. He actually was a coach at Pascoe Vale 6-7 years ago. He coached their under-20s team to a title in 2018. Liking what he sees from his team here as they go forward, searching an equaliser. Kakides, he claims it's a handball against Lacente. The referee disagrees, and here's Hatcher Giorgio down the channel to no one in particular. Simioi tracks back. Simioi again with the long sleeves on. It's a little bit cool tonight. Thankfully much cooler than it has been earlier in the week. It's been a hot week in Melbourne, as anyone watching this from Melbourne would know. But temperature has dropped quite a bit here tonight. Ball ricochets out of play right in front of us here in the grandstand. The canopy over the top at Hoscombe Reserve, part of the redevelopment here that has seen the Rams be able to once again play their games here as the ball ricochets almost onto our camera. Thankfully the cameraman did a nice spoiled Bruce Dool style and got it away from our camera and also my computer. That wouldn't have been a very nice start to the Friday night. It's flicked on nicely there by Siamoa. And they're away down the channel now. It's Gilboy for Juventus. He might have a shot here. He drifts it in. Smith was at the back post, didn't quite reach him. Simioi keeps the move going. Back to Smith. He bends it in. Not far enough. That was in that no man's land between being a shot and a cross from Smith. Wiseman was happy to let it bounce by. Floodlights very much taking effect now. Almost 34 minutes played. Wiseman puts the laces through it. Atkins. And that's another ball coming out over towards us here in the stand. Thankfully that one didn't quite reach us. Rams players aren't too happy with that. They thought there was a challenge there on Mamuglia that should have been punished. But they've got defending to do here as Cool goes down. Temper's just flaring a little again. There is a bit going on below the surface. And it's a free kick here for the Rams. Deep in defence, you can see some of their junior players in their tracksuits watching from behind the byline there. No doubt hoping they'll one day be in the senior team on the other side of the fence. Cool. Simoy won the header. Hatzigeorgio won the ball. Lucente's been busy. Takes on Lovic, gets the better of him to the byline. Couldn't quite squeeze the cross in. Here's a terrier, Lucente. Short, nuggety character, but got plenty of pace. Low centre of gravity. Once he's on the ball, he's hard to get off it. Here's Takagi in midfield, though, for Juventus. And now Gazelle. They'll try and knit together a move down the far side. Comes undone, though. Atkins. Reminds me of Patrick Vieira with those long legs in midfield. I'm sure that's a comparison he'd be quite happy with. Juventus have won the ball back though, and it's Smith. Plays it into Gilboy, tests Wiseman on the follow-up, and it's put over the top by Kundal. Gilboy with the turn and shot. Wiseman just got there to parry it away. Just came a bit too quick for Kundal. The goal was unguarded though. Pascoe Vale certainly have had more of the attacking chances, but on occasions, Brunswick Juventus certainly have threatened. And that was very close to 2-2. Bosdigan. Hatzigeorgio strokes it down the channel. Mustana Hadjic is there. Danger for Brunswick Juventus. Mustana Hadjic wins yet another corner. He put the cross right into the buttocks of Campbell, and out it went. And Hatzigeorgio will again float in a delivery from that far side corner. He must have had 4 or 5 from there so far this half. And 2 of them have produced goals, both for Tom Barafrosh. In the 11th and the 20th minute. We're now in the 37th. Could Barafrosh get a hat-trick? He's milling around the 6-yard box, as are a few other Rams. The cross comes in. Takagi with the header, goes up and down the chimney. Back to Hatzigeorgio. Atkins. Lose out there, the Rams. Lovic. Kundal. Atkins just stole it from him. Those long legs and big feet of his. Like Inspector Gadget, he was able to reach out and just win the ball. Nothing on, so Gazelle has to go all the way back with his throw to Campbell. Now Simoy. Lovic. Here's Smith, the goal scorer for Juventus, with a penalty. 18 minutes. It's now in the 38th minute, so things have changed a bit since then. The Rams went back in front soon after, and that's where they remain as Dibbs sends that ball out. And it'll be a throw here for Brunswick Juventus. They haven't had a corner or any real set pieces apart from the penalty, so this will be about as good as they've had so far in this half as far as attempts to send the ball into the box, but Gazelle didn't even try. He went short to Gilboy, who hooks the ball across. Lacente is there. Kakidis. Smith. Takaji intercepted by Lacente. Barafrosh and Kakidis came together. Good old-fashioned hip and shoulder. And the referee is giving the free kick to Pascoe Vale. Mamaglia. Atkins. Up now towards Barafrosh. Into the corner. There's two Juventus players with him. He twists and turns. And he sends the ball into no one in particular. The goal scorer couldn't turn provider there. Juventus try and come away. Good work though by Bosdagan. The commentators curse. He praise him and then he gives the ball away. Takaji, who's been impressive. Rin Takaji. Notionally playing in defence, but he's been bobbing up all over the pitch. Can't keep it in here though, and there will be a throw right in front of the Brunswick Juventus bench where Michael Calandrella will be thinking about what he's going to tell his troops at half time. They're still very much in this game. They'd love to be on equal footing though at the break, which isn't far away. Across 41 minutes. There have been a few stoppages in this half, so we could have a couple of extra minutes added on. Campbell. Atkins couldn't quite control it, and now Lovic galloping onto the ball. Can they make something happen here, Juventus? Smith just couldn't quite get there in time. Siamoa was there. He struggled to get into the game, the Samoan international. Greg Siamoa is signed with Brunswick Juventus from the interestingly titled Life FC. Players joining from some very strange sounding clubs. Siamoa from Life FC and Gilboy has come from Prescott Cables. Here's Hatzigiorgio. Oh, he manages to fashion out a cross there. Unfortunately for him, there's no one to meet it. And the visitors will come away. Kakidis, long ball down the channel. He gives Siamoa some work to do. Cool in front of him. And he's happy to see it out of play. Sense that both teams are just going through the motions a little bit until half time. About 2 minutes away, at least normal time. That's how much is left. Stoppage time beyond that. Mamaglia with the glancing header. But there's barely a Rams player in the Brunswick Juventus half. They're getting back now. Here's Gazelle. It goes all the way through to Wiseman. Wiseman joined Pascoe Vale from Melbourne Knights. doesn't mess around with the clearance. Towards Mamaglia, holds it up well. Atkins back towards Mamaglia. Can they make something happen here, the Rams? Give themselves a 2-goal cushion. Lucente, they're queuing up. Hatzigiorgio, that's a great goal. Well, they pushed and pulled and teased Brunswick Juventus apart. And then Hatzigiorgio with the hammer blow, putting it into the top corner and putting his team 2 goals to the good in the shadows of half-time here at Hoscombe Reserve. It is Pascoe Vale 3, Brunswick Juventus 1. And it's not a stretch to say that is by far the best goal of the lot. Nicholas Hatzigiorgio in the 44th minute. And despite having their chances themselves, and for a brief moment being on level terms, now the visitors face going into the sheds with a 2-goal deficit. It's a fair way back. Lovic. I need to do a bit better than that. Normal time is up. I didn't see the fourth official put up the board. But there must be some added time because we're still playing. Atkins. Vicente. Long ball forward. Hatzigiorgio. His eyes lit up there. He thought he might be in for a second. Ball just knocked away for him. But it's out for another corner. Corner which... No, Hatzigiorgio won't take this one. It was just on the near side of the goal. So that should be Mustina Hadjic who will take it. Doesn't matter which side the corners have come from, though, for Pascoe Vale. They have caused all sorts of problems for the Brunswick Juventus defence. They'd be desperate not to ship another one here. The visitors, they could be out of business by half-time if that happens. Mustina Hadjic to take it. That's a good corner. Murphy just got a knuckle to it, but it was right on him. Got it away just in the nick of time, just did enough. Great delivery, both Hatzigiorgio and Mustina Hadjic have been putting it on 5 pence tonight with their deliveries from either side. Right inside that 6-yard box. And it's up in the area again. Barafrosh is there. And it's another corner. Hatzigiorgio will have another go this time. They must be dying for the half-time whistle here, Brunswick Juventus. It's been a pretty torrid end to the first half for them. First half that has shown promise at times. But they face another corner here. Hatzigiorgio bends it in. And they manage to escape. And they go to half-time, but they've got a lot of work to do. Brunswick Juventus in their first trip to Hoscombe Reserve in over a decade. And it's looking like a pretty tough night at the office at the moment because the Rams have returned home in style. They started off well with a goal from Tom Barafrosh from a goalmouth scramble. He headed in. That was after 11 minutes. But then Brunswick Juventus hit back with really their first attack of the game. Lachlan Smith was brought down in the area and the same man then converted the penalty to make it 1-1. But Tom Barafrosh and Pascoe Vale replied within seconds with another close range header from a corner to make it 2-1, and then Max Hatzigiorgio, Nicholas Hatzigiorgio rather, then finished off the half with a brilliant goal, by far the best goal of the game so far. After a great team move, he smashed it into the top corner from just inside the area and gives his team a 2-goal lead at the break at Hoscombe Reserve. On YouTube, it is Pascoe Vale 3, Brunswick Juventus 1.
I was looking for you. Okay, wait, I sit for
Where were you? Oh, we were sitting on the hard chair.
How are you, mate?
Oh, just
Good to see you. How are you, all right?
Wait, what can I go on the pitch half time?
Where you going, Lex? Don't go too far, right? Take your phone off silent.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
What's
Excuse me. Sorry. Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, can you move the tripod? Just in the middle.
here?
Yeah.
You want sauce with it?
Oh, no.
No?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, my friend.
Yeah, there should be enough. Yeah.
Welcome back to Hoscombe Reserve, where the home side, on their return to their spiritual home after more than a decade away, are having a pretty good time of it. They lead by 3-1 over Brunswick Juventus in the so-called Marybeck Derby. Kate Lucas with you on YouTube. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on this Friday night. The floodlights have very much taken effect here at Hoscombe Reserve. There's an excellent crowd, as you would expect for such a big occasion, and the home side have certainly lived up to that occasion so far. It's just a matter of whether Brunswick Juventus can maybe recover and start to make more of a game of it in the second half. They were right in the game in the first half until late on when Nicholas Hatzigeorgiou scored a brilliant goal to make it 3-1. They were on level pegging at one stage. Lachlan Smith scored their only goal from a penalty after 2 goals from Tom Barrafrosh, or in fact 1 goal from Tom Barrafrosh put the Rams ahead. And then the penalty from Smith, and then Barrafrosh scored a second, almost identical to the first, to put Pascoe Vale back in front 2-1, and then they got the third. So we're back underway in this second half. No change to the lineups. James Langoy, the referee tonight. I'll just quickly go through the lineups. For Pascoe Vale, Wiseman in goal, Leviticus, Hatzigeorgiou, Cool, Bosdigan, Mustanahajic, Atkins, Mamaglia, Lucente, Barrafrosh and Dibb. Whilst for Brunswick Juventus, Reece Murford in goal, Gazelle, Campbell, Simioi, Kundal, Lovich, Gilboy, Smith, Siamoa, Takides and Takagi. Brunswick Juventus, in case you're a little bit confused, they're not in their black and white stripes tonight. They are in their blue chain strip. The Rams in their home strip, navy shorts and white. Wiseman with the goal kick at the club room's end, in front of the bar where there's a lot of people milling around. There's a function in the club rooms too that's well populated. Great evening to be had here in Pascoe Vale. It's a bit cool and overcast. Was a bit of rain earlier on this afternoon, but that seems to have stayed away. There was a bit of a breeze too. It's not affecting Pascoe Vale, who are looking to go forward here, and it's the dual goal scorer Barrafrosh who's tumbled over. Murphy, the Juventus keeper, came out quickly to clean up. And here's Gazelle. Jamie Gazelle, former Altona City player who came across with his coach, Michael Calandrella. Both of them coming from the Western Suburbs club to the Northern Suburbs this season. Bosdigan over to Mustanahajic, the skipper. He's been in the thick of the action. Cool. Nice passing early on here from the Rams, and here's Hatzigeorgiou. Looked to whip in the cross. Only found the backside of Campbell, though, for Juventus. And this will be a throw. Thought it might have gone for a corner. They've had a heap of corners so far in this game. Pascoe Vale have to be content with the throw on this occasion. Now it's Bosdigan up towards Barrafrosh. Lovely touch. He's on a hat-trick. Tom Barrafrosh. Dibb. Leviticus, who got a yellow card in the opening minutes of the game. Long ball forward there for Juventus, to no one in particular. In fact, it looks like Juventus might have made a change. There's a number 15 out there, and I don't have a number 15 on my sheet. So it's always a very appreciative thing for a commentator. Maybe there's been a change of jersey or something, but we'll try and work out who number 15 is during this half. Hopefully he doesn't score. Here's Wiseman. Atkins. Leviticos goes all the way back to his keeper. Juventus trying to press up a bit higher, trying to pin the Rams back. Haven't really done that so far tonight. They do win the ball back here, and it comes towards Siamoa. Well, it's a great ball across. They should score here. Gilboy. Oh, is that across the line? It is. It's a goal for Juventus. And it's Lewis Gilboy, one of a bevy of new signings, who tumbled that ball over the line. And they are back in business here. 50 minutes played. It is Brunswick Juventus 2, Pascoe Vale 3. And the complexion of this game changes again. The Rams hit back very quickly the last time they conceded, and they'll be looking to do so again here. Leviticos. Mamaglia. Goes out of play just near us here in the grandstand at Hoscombe Reserve. Here's Atkins going laterally. Now back to Cool, has sent a lot of the ball tonight. And that's to no one in particular. Campbell mops up. He's been busy as well. Lachlan Campbell. Here's Takaji. Now Kakidis. There's Rams all around him though. Not much room to move. Scrappy football by both teams at the moment. Barafrosh and Takaji getting a tangle, and the Japanese wins out and then belly flops. And it's a free kick. He did get clipped on the way through, and his momentum brought him to ground. Takaji. It's a free kick here for Juventus. Might be the first free kick of note that they've had tonight. Looks like it's Smith who will take it. And he whips it in. That's a good ball. Cool saw it coming. And now lining up from miles out is Gazelle. And that was always going well wide. Gee, that would have been some goal from out there, the best part of 35, 40 yards. Rams go short, and now they go long through Wiseman. Good first touch there by Gilboy, the goal scorer for Juventus. Lovic. Over the top, looking for Gilboy, can't find it. It's out of play. Gilboy again, into the area, driving run. Shot is blocked though, and it comes towards Bamaglia. Pascoe Vale trying to go on the break here, but they lose out. Juventus, since scoring that goal, have really gone up a cog or two. Mamaglia. And up the channel towards Barafrosh. And they're backpedaling a bit here. Juventus, Barafrosh goes to ground. Still going, Barafrosh. Campbell there to mop up. Goes all the way back to Murfitt. And they work it to the far side as a bit of rain starts to come down again at Hoscombe Reserve. I mentioned it rained earlier. And it has returned. Not particularly heavy, but it's enough to have people scurrying under the cover here in the grandstand where we're in. Going to have a lot of company very soon, I think. Play goes on. Atkins. And as far as Campbell. And Cool. That back pass probably could have had a bit more behind it. Wiseman came out to knock it away. And it's out of play. Lovic driving through midfield, rides a couple of challenges. The Moldov, the Serbian Irishman. And now the whistle is blown. And it's a yellow card here. It's going to Kakides. Rain really coming down heavily now. As Brunswick Juventus have a set piece. It's a long way out, but they can still set something up here to maybe drag themselves back level. In it comes. Lovic got the head onto it. I think he sent it the wrong way, but comes back to Kakides. Smith, back to Kakides. Intercept there by Atkins. Crossfield pass controlled by Gazelle, just kept it inside the line. Here's Gilboy, and then he clatters into Dibb. Christopher Dibb and Gilboy really coming together. Now CMO is getting in there to complain to the linesman. Tempers fraying again here at Hoscombe Reserve. As the precipitation continues to come down. What will James Lannoy do here? He's going to have a word to his linesman.
Hey, come on, hey! Let's lift it again, you man! Move! You're a poser, number 9. You should be ashamed of yourself. Watch it back to the keeper, huh?
after all that. Leviticus takes the free kick. Maglia. And then Campbell getting a tangle. Now Gazelle. Almost reached the hour mark. Fascinating game building here. Pascoe Vale looks as though they might be about to blow it open, but they've been pegged back by a much improved Brunswick Juventus since the break. As the ever increasing intensity of the rain just dampens the celebrations here at Hoscombe Reserve. It's a bit of a party atmosphere earlier, but things have gotten a bit wetter and wilder as it gets a bit windy too. And the visitors are starting to play much better. Gilboy skins the ball in. Sorry, it was Gazelle. Now there's a tangle in the penalty area. Leviticus is there. And Leviticus is already in the book, and he's getting a bit of a talking to here from James Langoy, just to remind him to be careful lest he have an early shower. An hour gone. Cade Lucas with you on YouTube TV at a suddenly very wet Hoscombe Reserve, where the home side led 3-1 at half-time, but they've been pegged back slightly since the break with a goal from Lewis Gilboy for Brunswick Juventus to make it 3-2 with a half hour to go. And Brunswick Juventus are making some changes. Gazelle is off. And Mitchell Graham is on. So a midfielder for a defender. And Graham is straight into the action. Right here in front of us to Gilboy, the goal scorer for Juventus. Strokes it into midfield, finds Campbell. They're playing up a bit higher now, Juventus. Something that's the Rams who are pinned back a bit. Here's Mamaglia. Oh, sliding in there, a rough challenge by Kakides. He won the ball though. Graham. They've really turned this game around, the visitors. They're still behind on the scoreboard, but for the time being, they are calling the shots in general play. Here's Hatzigeorgio with Lovic. They almost end up in our commentary position, as the referee finds a free kick out of all of that. It's going the way of Mustana Hadjic, right below us. And what's suddenly a very busy and populated stand here at Hoscombe Reserve. People have come scurrying in out of the rain. Hope you're enjoying the coverage in the warmth of your living room, wherever you're watching tonight. This game's got a twist or two left in it. That's a great ball in, and that is an equaliser. And it's Lockie Smith with his second. And he taps his chest. Brunswick Juventus have come from the clouds, and it's all square at Hoscombe Reserve. 63 minutes played. It's Pascoe Vale 3, Brunswick Juventus 3. And that is 2 goals since half-time for the visitors. And it's the least they deserve given general play. It was a wonderful ball in. And Lockie Smith found himself in behind. And it was a neat finish too by the skipper. He's got the armband on now. Simio's gone off at half-time. And that was very much a captain's goal, even if it's from a standing captain. And Juventus are using the goal as an opportunity to have a bit of a drinks break. You normally see that when it's 35, 40 degrees, not when it's cold and windy and raining. given their momentum, they probably want to get straight back into it, but they're having a drink. The Rams are just standing around wondering what's happened. They were cruising. All of a sudden the rain has arrived and the goals have arrived for Brunswick Juventus. And Pascoe Vale, it's back to the drawing board and they're going to make some changes. Barafrosh, who scored 2 in the first half, he's off. Buzdigan's off. On comes Bunis. So Jonathan Bunis is on. An ex-Brunswick Juventus player, no less. So he won't be lacking in motivation. And Jack Palazzolo also on. Number 10. So is the complexion of this game about to change again? Certainly hasn't been short of action here tonight. Hope you've enjoyed watching it. Make sure you don't go anywhere, because surely there's going to be another juncture up ahead. These two teams could be vying for, well, they are vying for top spot. Both won last weekend. Ladder positions don't mean too much at this time of the year, of course, but both teams won last weekend. And depending on how other fixtures pan out, they could be on top over the weekend. They could be on top by the end of the weekend. There is one more game this evening. Werribee City playing Springvale White Eagles. Springvale White Eagles, who Pascoe Vale beat last weekend. Haven't been able to get the score of that game. It's anything like this one, though. Those there will be enjoying it. Here's Mustan Hadjic. The crowd enjoyed that as he sends a dangerous ball in, and Malaglia was almost there in time. Reef Murphy just got there, then tells his defenders just to cool their heads. Simoy coming up. Or Siamoa, rather. Atkins wins the ball. Here's Bunis, who's just come on, providing a real physical presence in midfield. He is a big man. Him and Atkins in there. Some big bodies in the middle of the park. Here's Palazzolo, who's just come on. Oh, and that's very nearly 4-3. Patsa Giorgio had a shot, and then he and an opponent have a bit of a shove. And as we've seen a few times tonight, a few players redlining once again. And James Longoy just tells them to settle down and play on. And it's Patsa Giorgio who will take the corner. He was a real danger with his corners in the first half, leading directly to 2 goals before he scored a third, but things have changed a bit since then. How will his first corner of the second half go? Sends it in, headed away by Takaji. Suddenly they're dealing with the corners okay. Brunswick Juventus, as one of their players, one of their mystery players out there whose number isn't on the team sheet, slips over. And now there's another yellow card. I think there was Atkins who went in the book. That's 3 yellow cards by my reckoning for the Rams. And Brunswick have had a couple of them too. And we're back underway as we approach the last 20 minutes. Bunis. Atkins. Galloping forward. Carrying his Brunswick Juventus opponent with him like he was a draft horse carrying a carriage. Long clearance by Murphy. Dibb sends it high up in the air. Bunis sends it even higher, straight up and down the chimney. Lovich with the header rather. It's no holds barred football now. And that's a great ball through to Mustafa Hadjic. Can he put his team back in front? No, he fluffs his lines. Hands on head in the grandstand as the skipper fluffed that opportunity, putting it over the top with the goal to aim at. And it must have been a save from Murfitt, and a good save at that put it over the top. I was a bit obscured. It looked like Mustafa Hadjic just put it over the top himself, but it must have been a good save because there is a corner. And the man who had the shot, Mustafa Hadjic, will now take the corner from the far side. About to tick over 70 minutes. It's all locked up in the Merribeck derby. Brunswick Juventus have come from a 2-goal deficit since half-time to level it at 3-3. Can the Rams put their noses back in front? Mustafa Hadjic to the back post. Deflected away. Hatzigiorgio will send it back in from the other side. Chested down by Mamaglia. Here's Palazzolo. He's just come on. Twisting, turning, shooting. And it's on the area. Oh, Murfitt got to it and got it away. Or did he? Is it a goal? They're celebrating in the stands. And it's the Brunswick Juventus players who are celebrating. But we're going back to the middle. Can someone tell me what's going on? It's a goal kick. After all that, it is a goal kick. From the angle we're in, we don't have the replay. It was right on the line, and it looked like it could have been a save, or it could have gone over the line and been a goal. But in the end, it is another great save to Murfitt, who's really earning his money in this second half. It's the opposing keeper, Wiseman, who's got the ball. Lovic. Physical presence in midfield, outpointing Palazzolo there. Another raking crossfield ball. And the Brunswick defender goes down, and belatedly a whistle from the referee. Offside is the call. More changes. Mamaglia is off for the Rams. And on comes Nelson Shongo. There's some fresh legs up top for Pascoe Vale for this final 17 minutes or so. They've got it deep in defence here, though, at the moment. Pinned back like they have been for much of this second half. Cool sends it long into the breeze. Comes down towards Gilboy, and he opens the door for Siamoa. Oh, he hit that nicely. Shot was always rising, though. And could be the end of his night yet, because he's gone down holding the back of his leg after that shot. He hasn't done too much tonight, to be honest. But he's ended up with a bit of cramp after that. Physio's going to come and have a look at him. This gives players another opportunity to have a bit of a breather and steel themselves for one final flurry with just over 15 minutes to go. And all options on the table here. It's been a brilliant night of football. Dampened somewhat by the weather in the second half, but the atmosphere and the contest have been outstanding. Underway again. Boonus. Lisette. Boonus again in midfield. Towering presence in the middle of the park. He opens the door here for Palazzolo, who's brought down by the keeper. Oh, they're up on their feet here in the stands. But they're disappointed because there is no decision for Pascoe Vale. Instead, the referee says play on. The Rams player is still prostrate on the ground in the area after Reef Murphy cleaned him up. He has had some night, Reef Murphy. A couple of brilliant saves to keep his team in it. But then he collected Jack Palazzolo. The referee judged that he did so cleanly that he went for the ball. But Palazzolo's come off a bit worse for wear. Slowly getting up now. Palazzolo has only been on the field a few minutes. And after that stoppage, we'll get underway again. There's probably going to be a fair chunk of added time at the end of the 90. As Pascoe Vale prepare another change. Or is it just Palazzolo coming back on after some treatment? I think it is. The defending here, Hatzigiorgio, who nearly scored moments ago. I thought for a second as though he had scored, but wasn't given. Takagi with the header. Atkins. Mustard Hadjic. Leviticus long through the middle. Campbell saw it over his shoulder. Now all the way back to his keeper. Palazzolo coming in again. Those two not quite meeting like they did moments ago. Rain has just eased off a little. Still very wet and greasy though, which could affect the outcome of this game. Maybe chances are a bit harder to come by or a bit harder to take than previous. Ball could be harder to deal with for keepers. Here's Graham. It's a good throw to Gilboy. Lays it off towards Smith, who's on a hat-trick. The captain. Back now to Graham. Lovich. It's bobbling around. They haven't cleared their lines here, the Rams. Smith again. Finally, the flag's up for offside. And another Juventus player is down. And is that Siamoa again? We tried to continue on after that previous stoppage, but looks like his night is done, the big Samoan. Next week, Brunswick Juventus are at home at CB Smith Reserve, the venue they used to share with Pascoe Vale and a number of other clubs. They play Springvale White Eagles. Springvale White Eagles, who last week were defeated by Pascoe Vale, and tonight are playing Werribee City in the other game on this evening. Whilst Pascoe Vale next week, they are down the highway in Geelong, playing Geelong SC. At the moment, both of these teams will be going into next week with one win and a draw to their name, unless they can change things up in in this last 11 minutes of normal time. Should be plenty of stoppage time beyond that, though. Campbell with the header. Gilboy. Oh, good touch. Leviticus there, they read it. Got it back to Wiseman. Hatzigiorgio. Atkins. Songo. Him and Graham come together, the two second half substitutes. Now Hatzigiorgio taps it down the line to Palazzolo. Pass didn't quite come off. And now it's opening up for Juventus. Gaps at the back. Gilboy. Down the near side channel, Leviticus got back to deflect it out of play and onto the club room's roof. And a corner here for Brunswick. Not sure what the exact stat would be, but I'm not sure that Brunswick have had too many corners, if any, in this game. Pascoe Vale have had a heap, though not so many since half time. But set pieces of any variety have been pretty rare tonight for Juventus. They scored their first goal with a penalty, but corners and free kicks, they have not had many at all, but they've got one now. Can they make it count? Gakides to the back post. And they can't do anything with that. And it's a goal kick for James Wiseman. Bunis. Hatzigiorgio flicked it on. Lovic was there to break up the play, though, for Juventus. Here's Gilboy, who's been excellent since half-time. One of their goal scorers. Some fancy footwork, a dangerous ball in. Atkins was there to knock it away. And a nothing ball forward there. At the moment, it's really only the visitors who look like adding to the scoreline. They are finishing much the stronger. Whatever Michael Calandrella did at half-time has worked, because they've roared back into this game. They may yet win it. Bunis almost has his trousers pulled down, and the referee saw that. And it's a free kick as Bunis just rearranges his shorts, make sure everything's where it should be. Cool. Leviticus. Wiseman gets under that a bit too much. Wiseman didn't get the length on it. Now a strong challenge there by Bunis, but he missed the ball. Juventus will come away. And now a shot from downtown. Misses by not much at all. And the Juventus fans who have made the short trip across to Hoskin Reserve start to make some noise. It was a pretty tough start for them, but they are finishing full of running, Brunswick Juventus, and they could yet come away with a famous win. They have put a dampener on proceedings more than the rain has. If Pascoe Vale's return to Hoskin Reserve ends up with a Brunswick Juventus win. At the moment, they're sharing the points. Leviticus scampers and gets there, sends the ball forward. There's not much happening up forward at the moment, though, for the Rams. Really, since half-time, they haven't carried much of an attacking threat at all. Here's Takagi. Good work there by Lacenti, but maybe he was a bit late. He collected an opponent and he goes in the book. Well, it looked like he won the ball from this angle, but we're a fair way away. And Takagi is slow to get up. It's evidence that he was caught. yellow card was very much warranted. There'll be some sore bodies waking up tomorrow morning. This Merribeck derby, as you'd expect, has been full of intensity. Great advertisement for VPL2 football. Have we got a grandstand finish coming up? Murphy. He's had as big a hand in this Juventus revival as anyone, with a couple of crucial saves, particularly in this second half. Here's Lovic. And Gilboy's creeping in behind here. It's a great ball. The keeper's out. Gilboy, the keeper lost it. Gilboy misses. Oh, that was the game right there for Lewis Gilboy. And now Wiseman is going in the book. I'm not sure what he's complaining to the referee about. Maybe that he was infringed by Gilboy. He did have his hands around the ball, but then lost it on the way down. And Gilboy, he was at a sharp angle, but he just couldn't quite hit the target. The goal was unguarded, and the game was there for the taking. And it may yet still be. Cool with the goal kick. It goes straight out of play, straight into a Brunswick Juventus throw. Here now is Graham. Room to move ahead of him. Comes back out towards Graham. The pass has just got a bit too much on it. But it looks like it's going to be a corner. It must have got a Pascoe Vale touch on the way through. So it is a corner. They're hanging on at the moment, the home side. Since the rain has come down, it has really dampened things for Pascoe Vale. They have been second best all over the pitch, really, in the last 15-20 minutes. And now they've got a corner to deal with. In it comes. They can't quite clear their lines here. Palazzolo is there. And the ball out of play, and it's going to be a Brunswick Juventus throw. Palazzolo can't believe it. As the rain starts up again. And it will be a throw here for Juventus. I think it's Smith who's going to take it. It's a bit hard to see now with the rain sheeting down. Smith will go short to Kakidis. Back to Smith. Drifts in the cross. Leviticus there with the header. Lovic won it though. Shot on goal over the top. The mystery man, number 15. Thankfully for me, he hasn't gone on the score sheet because I don't know his name. If anyone happens to know who number 15 and number 4 are for Brunswick Juventus in this second half, if you get them to me, get those names to me in the last 2.5 minutes, that'd be much appreciated. Cool taking the goal kicks. Wiseman must have been hurt in that earlier collision with Gilboy, because since then he hasn't taken the goal kicks. Here's the other mystery man, number 4. Who's been very good since coming on. Helped create the third goal. Gilboy. Graham. Hatza-Giorgio intercepts. Important intervention. Boonis. Sloppy, tired pass. And again, Juventus come. Ball into the box. Leviticus headed it but couldn't get it away. Dib does. But there's blue shirts everywhere at the moment. It's like they've got an extra man. The wind and rain come down again. Pascoe Vale at risk of being blown away here. As there's another coming together. We've got just over a minute of normal time to go. Giorgio is slow to get up after that challenge. It is teeming down here now. This is as strong as the rain has been all evening. And right now, I think everyone, including the players themselves, are probably happy if the referee blows the whistle. He's not going to, though. We've got 30 seconds of normal time to go. And then judging by the amount of injury stoppages we've had, there's probably a fair old chunk of extra time to come. The ball holds up in the breeze from the Pascoe Vale free kick. They have rarely threatened in the second half. Have they got another goal in them? Here's Giorgio, who's come closer since half-time. He scored their third goal at the end of the first half. Bunis in behind, but the flag's up. Mustahadzic was about to pull the trigger, but the flag was up. And Brunswick Juventus breathe a sigh of relief. 5 minutes of stoppage time. 5 minutes of stoppage time, and at the rate this rain is coming down, we might be underwater by then. Long clearance goes all the way through to Wiseman. And he'll slow things down. Pascoe Vale, they might be happy with the draw here, the way things have changed in this second half. As I say, that Mustahadzic is almost in behind. Number 4 dispossessed him though. Here's Shongo. Hasn't done much since coming on and didn't do much there. Gilboy has been just about best man on the pitch. It is torrential here. He opens the door for Frost, who's a second half substitute. Great ball across. Brunswick Juventus have won it. Brunswick Juventus have won it. 91 minutes played. They have come from 3-1 down at half-time to lead 4-3. And I think it's the skipper, Lachlan Smith, who's got a hat-trick. He's taken his shirt off, so I can't see his number. But they have rained on the party here at Pascoe Vale, both literally and figuratively. Brunswick Juventus and the Merribeck Derby have scored 3 second-half goals to turn a 3-1 deficit into a 4-3 lead and probably a 4-3 win. 2 minutes of stoppage time have gone. 3 more to go. Have the Rams got one more effort in them? I'm going with Lachlan Smith as the goal scorer. Here come the Rams. Brunis with a long ball forward. A heavy collision. Cool. And number 4 involved. Pushing and shoving again. Lachlan Smith has a hat-trick. Started with a penalty and then 2 second-half goals from him. The other goal came from Gilboy. And Pascoe Vale must be wondering what's hit them. Kakides. Long crossfield ball to him. Gilboy's all alone. He can make sure of it. Oh, sliding tackle by Leviticus. Defending like his life depended on it. And maybe it didn't, but the Rams' chances in this game sure did. They've got a corner to deal with now. Just over a minute of stoppage time to go. What a game this has been. delay here getting the ball. It's Frost and I think Kakiti's over the corner. Now James Langoy is coming in and giving another yellow card. They go short. They're just going to kill time here. Brunswick Juventus. Frost, he's lost the ball though. They could be out here, Pascoe Vale. Now the ball's out of play. And the home side are in the absolute last of last chance saloons. Another yellow card. And by my reckoning, that's a second yellow for Leviticus. But he's not going off. I thought he got a yellow in the early stages of the game. But it's the referee's book, not mine. There have been a lot of yellow cards, to be fair, for both sides. It's been that sort of game. Leviticus is still out there, though. Not long to go. The 5 minutes of stoppage time are up. Ball is in play. Smith, the hat-trick scorer, sees it out. It'll be a goal kick, and that will probably be that. Can the Rams pull a rabbit out of the hat? It's a long ball forward. Cool. There's blue shirts there. Takaji just kicks it into open space. Now Gilboy has it. He's been outstanding. In front of the scoreboard. Smith, the hat-trick scorer, to Frost. Here's Atkins. Now on to Boonis. We've gone to 96 minutes. Juventus had the ball back. Maybe they can make sure of it with a fifth here. They're going into the corner. They're killing time. Almost 90 seconds past the 5 minutes have gone. And that is that! A Merribeck derby for the ages. As you can probably hear, I'm surrounded by Brunswick Juventus fans here in the stands at Hoskin Reserve, and they will go home with a game and a result they'll never forget, because it was Pascoe Vale's party, it was their return to Hoskin Reserve, and it looked like it was going to be a game to remember for the Rams as they went out to a 3-1 lead at half-time. 2 goals from Tom Barafrosh, and then a brilliant third just before half-time to Nicholas Hatzigiorgio. Had the Rams flying high. Lachlan Smith got a penalty in the 18th minute. That was the only goal to half-time for Brunswick Juventus. But whatever Michael Calandrella told his men at half-time, it was like a magic elixir, because they just turned the game on its head after the break. Lachlan Smith got his second goal, and then it was tumbled over from the outstanding Lewis Gilboy for the third to make it 3-3, and then late on, with the rain teeming down, with Brunswick Juventus running all over the top of Pascoe Vale late on, Lachlan Smith rolled in a third to cue pandemonium here in the stands and dejection for the Pascoe Vale faithful, who must be wondering if the football gods had turned against them tonight. Certainly the weather gods did. When the rain came down in the second half, the game turned, and it very much turned against Pascoe Vale. Final score here at Hoskin Reserve. Cade Lucas is my name. It's been a pleasure to bring it with you. A brilliant game of football in VPL2, and it's finished. Brunswick Juventus 4, Pascoe Vale 3.